New Chanel, mama and Gucci, got out the hoop, yeah. Been through hell, carry the life is a movie, yeah. We prevail, now we do the groupies, don't do the groupies, yeah. Got money for bail, don't act like you know me, knock off your koofy, yeah. Flooded the rollie with Ethan, Hellcat Katrina the Beamer, blowing the money like Freeman. I got a flex in the sleepers, they tryna do me like Caesar. You gotta watch for the creepers, I got the eye in the steam.
Hey, welcome back to Dream Chasers Basketball Podcast. Today, I have a guest on today. Got a couple stories about this young lady. I mean, in all the stuff that she's done, all the stuff that she's doing. She's one of the premier basketball players in the state of Indiana. Just going to read some of the stats about her. She's ranked 68th in the nation, the national rank recruit by ESPN. She's a Gatorade Indiana Player of the Year nominee. She's had the Core Six Junior All Star selection, so she was a Junior Indiana All Star. She was 3 times All State, which she'll probably be 4-time All State for the state of Indiana. She was a 3-time team MVP. She scored 1,689 points for her career over at Heritage Christian, and she averaged 27.6 points per game. I mean, this girl, she was a monster when she played the game, and how she plays the game, how she continues to play the game. She has the record of 40 points in one game. I want you guys to really give a warm welcome, and we can hear you give a warm welcome, but we have on Ariana Wiggins. Ariana, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, all right, give us the backstory. Where are you from? First of all, and then what kind of sports have you played growing up?
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and just being from Indiana, I grew up playing basketball. I played flag football like middle school, elementary school, to stay in shape, and I ran track middle school and freshman year, but basketball just always had my name on it. It's always been a love for me. So.
Right, for sure. So you said you played all those other sports. When did you key in on basketball? Have you played other sports in high school, or did basketball just take precedence when you were in middle school? What did that look like for you?
Basketball, I really got into basketball when I was about 4 years old, and I have a little brother, Andrew, who's a big baseball player. He was playing, and one day he just decided to quit, and I was like, I want to try. So I put on his jersey in the middle of the game and just started playing, and from there it just took off. And then think about first grade, kindergarten, we had a court outside, and I was working on my shot, and I noticed I kept missing, and then me just knock down that shot. I knew I was going to fall in love with basketball, just being out there and just working out.
So would you say your brother influenced you?
Yeah, Andrew, he's the reason I'm playing basketball today. So I had to thank him for quitting for me.
That's all right. How did your parents play a role in you playing the game?
My mom, my dad really saw that I had a love for it, so they put me in a lot of camps, clinics, got me with a lot of coaches, let me play with the boys to just get me to just tough up just as a girl, getting to play in that sport. And then my dad and my mom just always just push me to just be the best, make sure I'm always having fun. To this day, it's always, if you're having fun, then keep doing it. So they've always just been on my shoulder, just hyping me up, just being my biggest fan and my biggest hype man.
Right. When did it start to click for you? When did you get to be pretty good, or when did you start making a name as, what did they call you on the court? Did they call you Ari?
Yeah, they call me Ari.
Okay, so when did you become Ari? I know it's probably a point where they're like, hey, Ariana, pass the ball. When did you become Ari? There's Ari. You know what I mean? When did you become that?
I feel like it was one game. It was a 6th grade game, and I was playing with the greats from North Central, Ricky Harris. And there was just one play, and I just didn't like playing defense, and then I decided to just make a stop on defense, and then that's when everyone was like, oh, that's Ari. She can play defense. She can do more than just play offense. She's playing defense. And that's when people respected my game. And then I kind of figured, okay, I'm putting my all into this. I'll probably start working out. And then taking pride in defense and offense, and then being a better player. And then like other girls on my team embraced me because I was like the youngest girl on the team. And after that, everyone kind of embraced me with that, and I just fell in love with the game even more after that with the girls who were like really good, like ahead of me, like telling me I can be really good if I keep working.
Right, right. So I'm gonna tell this story, and after I tell this story, we'll keep going with this interview. But it's funny how I met you. Well, I didn't really meet you. You know what I mean? I was coaching. I'm not gonna name the organization I was coaching for, but I remember being over at the Noblesville Boys and Girls Club, and our guys were down. You know, they were kind of messing around a little bit, and I think they were kind of taking your team lightly. And, I was like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, there's a girl down the other end. They got a girl on the team. So we just thought we was just going to wax y'all. We was like, we're going to beat them. Right. That's what we thought. Not me, but the team overall thought that. So we got ready to, get our starting five out there, and they're still laughing. And then look over, and you're out there with all boys. And I mean, the game started off, it was all you. I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but you were getting in us so bad that our starting point guard, who was pretty good at the time, you had this boy in tears. I don't know if you remember this, but I'm not going to name no names. It wasn't pretty, but I think you ended up like having like 26 points and you beat us. And this was the organization I was in. This was the top team, the top sixth graders. I mean, these were the kids. And I mean, you just came out and I mean, you ran through all of us, you know what I mean? And it was kind of crazy because at that time, my daughter, who's a sixth grader now, she was a baby. And, when we first had her, that was the first thing I thought about. I was like, man, I want my daughter to be a hooper. And then you hear, hey, Ari, pass me the ball. Ari, I'm open. I mean, you're hitting people. And I'm like, so it just inspired me. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just to see you play, that was real nice to see, for sure. So why'd you pick Heritage Christian? Like, what other schools did you look at? Was you always in the Heritage school corporation? Why'd you pick Heritage Christian?
So I live like in the Washington Township district, and so I was supposed to go to North Central, but seventh grade, my parents and I, we just talked about all our options. They saw Heritage Christian just being a Christian-based school that really like develops character through basketball and through just their education. That was probably like the best place for me. And then I moved there in seventh grade and went there
Right.
seventh grade to high school, and just my journey from just growing as like a person and also as a basketball player and as a student, I feel like Heritage is the best place for me. Just a smaller atmosphere,
Right.
a college prep school, and then also had a good basketball program. It was just the best fit for me, and then also for my family to just send me to Heritage.
Nice. So your freshman year, did you start varsity, or was you a main contributor for the varsity program right away?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I did start varsity. I played with former player Kate Gilbert, who plays at Notre Dame. So my role was just distribute the ball, be a best point guard I can be, get Kate the ball, a great scorer. Just like to me,
Right.
that's here. It's like just playing with her was perfect. But yeah, my role was to wasn't supposed to score a lot of points, but it was really just to be intense on defense and then get the ball where it's supposed to go, have less turnovers, make assists, and just lead the team in the best way I could.
Right. So after that first year of kind of being a role player, what was your motivation going into the summer? And then what was that second year like? So the first question is, after you got done and, you're a freshman, now you paid your dues somewhat. You distribute the ball, you did what the coach asked, and now looking towards that next season, what'd you do over the summer to get better? Is there anything that you worked on in particular, or is there anything that you kind of strive to be for that sophomore year coming up?
So that summer, like after the season was over, that freshman year, me and my dad, we just drilled in my mid range game, just pulling up at the 15 feet and just
Okay.
knocking down, like every day, go in the gym after school at 3:30. We're in
Right.
shooting mid range, and my goal for like the rest of my basketball career was to just be more than just like a point guard who can pass. I wanted to be a scorer. So we went
Right.
and worked on stuff like that, making sure we get to the basket,
Right.
helping my first step get like a little bit quicker, just knocking down threes, mid range, being a scorer at all three levels, and that was just what really drove me. I wanted to be like the next Skylar Diggins, the next left hand point guard who can do everything on the floor.
Nice. How did that sophomore season? How did that go for you?
It was to me, I feel like that was a learning season. Like it was really hard, just like playing without like great people like beside you. I had really good teammates, but just having like the leadership with Kate was gone.
Right.
So I had to take on a big role like the leadership. And sophomore year I wasn't really like vocal, so that was hard for me just to lead by example. Being a younger player, it was just hard to get
Right.
the older girls to like listen sometimes. But it was, I feel like it was like a really good season. It taught me a lot of how to be a leader and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Being young, and I'm probably not going to be the oldest person on the team, the best player on the team, but using my voice and just the talents and skills I have to be the coach's voice on the floor, that really helped me for my junior and senior year.
Right. Right. So after that, you basically learned for 2 years. You build yourself up. You worked on your 15-footer junior season. What's that? What was that? Paint a picture of what junior season was like.
My junior season was um, just to go in and just kill. Like I had Sydney Watkins, Tierney Brown, Courtney,
Okay.
like all of my team. We had a really, really good team. We wanted to go just win state. So whatever Coach Rick needed me to do is what I was going to do. If I need to score 20 points, I need to just have 7 assists, I was going to do that.
Hmm.
I remember one time in the gym, me and my dad were talking about before the season. He was like, "You need to go into the gym and just step on everybody's neck. Like you don't have any friends on the court.
I
Just
like that.
like every game is a state championship game. Go out like this is your last game of the season. This is junior year. Like I had a whole another season in front of me,
Right.
but wanted to win so bad. Wanted to just make a name for myself and a name for my team and the girls around me so badly that that's the mindset I went to junior year with.
Nice, nice. So going into this season, we're going to talk about your senior year. Going into this season, was the motivation still the same? Because I really like what you said. You was like, you got to step on people's necks, and that's one of the things that, just period. Just train. I train athletes, and I still do scouting for different high schools, and I help kids and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that I always talk about. I always talk about always hunting people. Be the hunter. You know what I mean? Always kind of hunt people down. But what was the motivation this year? I mean, your senior year, and this is your last shot at it. What was that motivation?
My motivation was like this is my last shot. Like this is my last time playing like around my family, playing in a Heritage jersey, playing with like my best friends on the court. So just leave it
Right.
all out. And also just like the motivation, just be ready for the next level, like playing at the University of Michigan under Coach Rico.
Yeah.
Like that motivation just to get better with my Heritage team to be better for next year. And then just like anybody who's a senior wants to go out and win city, win state, win like anything that's in front of them. So like that motivation, just like leave it all on the floor, like you're like the last dance to me is what it was for me.
Right. Right. So I know you were probably getting recruited by everybody, right? Probably some of everybody. What schools was recruiting you, and who were you seriously looking at, and then why did you pick Michigan?
A lot of Big Ten schools like Iowa, IU were recruiting me, Notre Dame recruited me for a little bit, Mississippi State. So
Hmm.
like really like high end schools, like with great coaches, great players, they all recruiting me.
Right.
And towards the end of like my recruiting season, like end of July of 2020, I was sitting down just making like a pros and cons list of like my last couple of schools I was going to choose from. And
Right.
when my pros and cons for Michigan, Michigan had like no cons at all. Like it was just pros, like great coach, great education system, great just family atmosphere. I remember I took a visit up there and just like being on campus just felt like home away from home. And
Right.
then like Coach Rico, like me being a point guard, and obviously you want to have that relationship with your coach. When she first called me, it was just like clicked, and we did a home visit. It was just like I felt like I was talking to my future coach. I haven't even committed to them yet. I was just like, yeah, that's the coach I'm going to play for. That's who I want to play for.
Nice, nice. So is there any player that, maybe throughout the years of high school that you possibly was chasing, or somebody that you kind of looked up to? I know you said your freshman year, you talked about somebody you had on your squad then, but was there anybody that, you were kind of maybe kind of chased down, or maybe had a rivalry or something in your head, or somebody that possibly could have made you, made you better? Is there anybody out there that was like that? Any girl?
I feel like there's like a couple girls who like I really like that were really good, and I went to compete against them. But I felt honestly, like in my opinion, I feel like I was my biggest rival. Like I was always competing with
Mm,
myself. Like yesterday, like if I wanted to be better than I was yesterday. Like there's great girls in the state like Jayla Smith, Allie Becky, Meg Newman, and they're all my good friends, and I want to compete with them every time I step on the court. But I feel like my biggest competition is me and just how I play on the court, how I play in those games, my attitude, my
right,
leadership, how I'm coming out in the game, how I'm leaving the court. That was always just like a challenge for me, just being that same Ari Wiggins, like
right,
all year, all 4 seasons. That was just, I was always competing with me. Like the next day, I have to be better than I was yesterday, and I have to be better than I am going to be tomorrow.
right, right. So who do you pattern your game after? Is it just you against yourself, or is there a particular player that, I know you mentioned Skylar Diggins, but who do you pattern your game after?
Um, Honestly, I never really thought about like my game like that. I always thought like this is just like this is me. I don't really compare myself to other people, but like I've heard like just other coaches like saying just like the way I am on the court, just like Kawhi Leonard, like just calm, not very
Hmm,
animated. I can see it a little bit like so I have emotions sometimes, like get hype on an M1, maybe
right.
get bad on a bad call, but I feel like I take little pieces of like other people's game. Like I watch a lot of Kyrie ball handling finishes. I watch Jason Tatum, just the way that he creates shots, but I put all those together, and that's just Ari Wiggins to me. And so I just feel like I'm like creating my own like play, like my own 2K player for me. Like if I had to be a 2K, I'd create me. And
Right.
yeah,
it'd be you, right?
yeah.
So let's talk about, I know this season you guys didn't make it as far as what you would have liked. I know senior year, absolutely you want to go out on top. But and you didn't get the state championship this year, which is, it is what it is now. But what are your thoughts on Miss Basketball? I mean, does it is it something that you really strive and something that you want? Is it is it kind of like a dream come true? And what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that you have a good shot at getting it?
I think I have a good shot at getting it, and I like that's one of like my biggest dreams, like in middle school, just learning about what Indiana Miss Basketball is, and that's like a
Right.
goal I had and still have. Like I really hope I can accomplish that goal and check it off my checklist. But um, right now, like my main focus is going to Michigan. If I get Indiana Miss Basketball, that'd be an honor. But if I don't, I can't dwell on not getting it because I know there's other great players in Indiana who have maybe some of the same caliber as me who just got voted. And I'm gonna be happy if one of my friends get it, but if I get it, I'm gonna be like blessed and I'm gonna like have the biggest smile on my face because that's always been a dream for me. So I hope I get it and I'm praying that I get it. But it's not gonna hold me back if I don't either.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what are your thoughts and goals going to Michigan? I mean, I can tell already, just talking to you, that you're such a good team oriented. You're a team player. You want to help your team. You want to, I would imagine you want to win a national championship. But what are some of the goals, or do you have any goals set for you going forward, going with you to the University of Michigan?
So one of my goals is just being like a under like size point guard, just being like the point guard that Michigan needs, being able to just run the floor, make the right play.
Right.
So close like come in and hopefully get playing time, hopefully get to start, work my way up on that ladder of just competing with those girls at Michigan because they have a really good point guard in Amy Dill who went to Carmel a couple years ago, who I look
Okay.
up a lot now. So just learning from her and then being able to be on the court and then just help Michigan win however they need to because they have a lot of great players like Nas Hillman who's scoring like 50 points a game sometimes and Amy Dill distributing and all those other good players. Just being around them and just helping my team win and being able to be on the court is a goal for me. Is just do whatever Coach Rico and Michigan needs me to do.
Okay. So if you had to, I want you to think about this question in terms of all the young girls that look up to Ariana Wiggins and some of the best players in the state of Indiana that are probably about to go through this now. Like my daughter right now is in sixth grade, and I saw you in sixth grade, and you was unbelievable. What is a piece of advice that you would give to a younger kid that's striving to possibly be in your shoes? I mean, you got an opportunity to, be a Gatorade Player of the Year. You got an opportunity to be Miss Basketball, and you're going to go play at the University of Michigan, which that's a dream come true for a lot of girls. Period. What would you tell maybe your younger self, or if my daughter was here right now, what's a piece of advice that you would give her going forward, just to keep pushing and striving?
I say the days you don't want to be in the gym, like on a Saturday, on a Friday night, those are the days you like need to go get in the gym, because those are times that other girls are out partying, do whatever they want, being at home, like resting. Like I remember like missing out on like a lot of just like teenage fun just because I had to be in the gym. And that's because I had goals I knew I wanted to reach, and if I was taking a day off or taking too many days off, I wouldn't be able to reach that goal. So I know it's hard when you're like a girl and you want to have fun with all your friends, you want to hang out, and you don't want to be in the gym all the time. But
Right.
when basketball is your life and it's your goal and you want to succeed in that, you're gonna have to put some things aside. And when you just think like that, like you're just probably like your years are just gonna go beyond you.
Right, for sure. What's your biggest takeaway from the game of basketball?
Um,
What is it? Or I'll put it in terms of this. What is something that it has taught you, or something that has basketball has done that has molded you outside of the game of basketball? So, like for example, for me, I get to meet a lot of good people, a lot of different people, and like I said, 95% of friends and people that I'm really close to today, that they help me with whatever, or I help them with whatever. I met them through the game of basketball. So ultimately, when the ball stopped, what is something that you feel like is a really big takeaway for you?
kind of like what you said, just like the networking, the people you meet, the people you come in contact with, the girls you are meeting, and like the coaches you get to talk to. Just like the connection with people that you have playing basketball was something I'm taking away. And then just like the life lessons about just like humility and just being humble, and then just the leadership and like the team oriented and just how to relate to people for like a common goal was just a big lesson I've learned, because sometimes people can like the well like in the hype and like all this stuff, like the personal accolades, but just with great parents and great coaches, they kind of help me see that there's a bigger picture and that there's other people on your team that you need to just shine your light with and be able to just like step out of the spotlight a little bit and just clap for your teammates sometimes, even though you might be that best player, you might have the best game or have the most points in one game. It's just like a team sport. You can't always have the attention on you. So in life, that's just like the same thing. There's so many people around you who are doing great things too. You kind of have to like take a step back and like clap for other people sometimes.
Right. I think I already know the answer to this question. Um, WNBA. What do you feel about that? Is that a goal? Is that something that you're striving for?
Yeah, that's the for me in basketball. That's the end goal. Playing in WNBA and then overseas in the off season. That's the end goal. Like that's what I'm striving for. Like high school was a mission, and then that's complete. Then Michigan's going to be another goal, and I hope I complete that and I get to the WNBA. I feel like I'm not going to be like that's not going to be like where I end. I'm going to keep pushing to just be the best WNBA player I can be. But that's been my goal since I've touched the basketball, just being able to play on a professional team, making money, just doing something I love. So,
Nice. Who's your favorite WNBA and NBA player?
my favorite WNBA player has to be Kennedy Carter. Played at Texas A&M.
Okay.
I feel like she's just different, just a
Right.
shifty, knockdown, scary point guard to me. And favorite NBA player is Jason Tatum.
Jason
Jason
Tatum?
Jason Tatum. It used to be Kyrie Irving. I still love Kyrie. Like he's still favorite point guard, but Jason Tatum just being a young player and just being just that good, and then being able to create your own shot and basically do everything on the floor, play 1 to 4. I feel like that's special, and he's really fun to watch.
Oh wow. Well, hey, I just want to say personally, we definitely want to see you do well. Going forward, just hoping you all the best in Michigan. But before you go to Michigan, we're keeping our fingers crossed for Miss Basketball. We're hoping that you get that. Like I said, for me, I had told my daughter about you, and we watched a couple games before, and I showed her some clips, and I remember when I first told her your name, and I'm like, that's Ari, and she's like, that ain't me. I'm like, no, that's Ariana Wiggins. So, like I said, I hope that you continue to be. You just seem like such a good role model for girls and athletes, period, not just girls. I mean, if a young boy is watching this, or a boy in high school is watching this, I mean, you are setting the tone and going to a stage that a lot of people don't get a chance to play college basketball, and especially on the level that you're going to. But to be so level headed, and to have the right mindset, and then to see you on the court, how you are on the court, I mean, it backs it up. You don't talk a lot. You're not talking trash. You handle your business and you go about your business. So I wanna give you a salute on that. I want to thank you for coming on, and at the same time, I'm just hoping, maybe 4 years from now, maybe we do another interview with you going into the WNBA.
Yep, hopefully.
All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you again, Ariana Wiggins, for coming on today. If you guys are watching, give us your social media handles. So if you're not, if you don't know much about Ariana Wiggins, or you're just learning about her, she's gonna give you her social media handles on what platform she's on. I want you guys to go and check her out. So give us the social media handles and spell them out for us.
On Instagram, it's Ari, ARI Wiggins, WIGGINS. And on Twitter, it's Ari Wiggins, ARI Wiggins.
Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you soon for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.